All right, John, lead us off. We are short for time, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. What's going on, Coach Adrian? I'm Jon Willis, man, Linfield College. I will post my phone number and email so that you guys can reach me if you guys got any questions after this, okay? I love doing this kind of stuff, so if there's any time you want to do this or anytime I can help, just let me know. So today, specifically, AJ asked me to talk about 3-2 zone, okay? So the reason that I like 3-2 zone is the following. If a team has pretty good post players, I think a 3-2 zone is good. If a team is really quick off the bounce and they can slice you off the dribble, I think a 3-2 zone is good as well. Thirdly, if you have a post guy who is not the best defender, I think a 3-2 zone can help keep them on the floor, okay? A lot like the principle that Mark Few used when he had Wilcher at Gonzaga, because Wilcher couldn't guard in the post, right? So he would double big to big, right, so that people didn't get a chance to play Wilcher one-on-one from the block, all right? So here's the basic premise, and can you guys see this? Can you see this board here? Am I close enough? Okay. So what I like to do is I like to go – so I go my X1, X2, I kind of pinch. He's a little higher than that. I kind of pinch, so he's got like 1 foot on an X3 here, and then I'm matched up X4 and X5. So if they play a double low post set, I'm matched up with these two posts inside. So my 4 and 5 are always going to be matched up the whole time. So responsibility-wise, this guy has to get as deep as wherever this wing player is, and his responsibility is first pass, okay? So, but again, we want to pinch the lane and force teams to play out here. Again, this is something you would run if you feel like a team does not shoot it as well. So what we do is this. So if they're like so, if they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 this way, so we would play behind on the post, and these two are locked. They're locked in. They can switch with each other, but outside of that, 4 and 5 are locked with their 4 and 5 the whole time wherever they go, unless it is ball screen. So if it's ball screen, I'll show you what we do there as well. So if the pass is made here, that pass is made here, then this guy has to close out. Obviously, he goes there, and he's defending. And what we do is drop this guy on top of the post right away, okay? So we drop that guard on top of the post. This guy's still matched up, so he can step over a tad bit and help, but he doesn't step over very much because we play behind inside. So we're playing behind, so now you cannot lob over the top because we're behind, and if you throw a bounce pass in the front, we should steal that also on that rotation down. Now, so this guy has to pinch over this way slightly, and what his rules are, he cannot allow a direct bullet pass. He can't allow 1, 2 on a bullet pass. If he allows 2 bullet passes, we give up 3, okay? So on ball reversal, he has to stunt and short his closeout. So his angle, when they pass the ball back from 2 to 1 in this direction, his angle has to be right about in here. See that? Because if he runs at this guy too fast, then he'll snap it that way. And that's what kills us, okay? So what we're doing is we're shorting this closeout, so that this pass is either airmailed or he's hesitant, then he throws this pass, okay? So if you're going to do this, you got to really drill this guy on not sprinting to close out to the ball there, okay? We got to slowly close out there. So on the rotation, on the ball rotation, then we would come back up, and essentially if he slows that down, that allows our X1 to make this long run here, this way. So essentially what ends up happening is their 1 has it back, their 3 is here, their 2 is here, their 4 is there, and their 5 is that way. Once he got it back, This becomes X3 for us. This becomes X1 right here. Now this is our X2, and we are still at X4 and X5, just like that. So once they make that pass there, then our X3 now will drop down to front. So these three guys are all interchangeable. Does that make sense? This X1, 2, and 3 are all interchangeable. So what we continue to do from side to side, what we continue to do is pressure the ball like so, and then we front the post, and we're playing behind. So we're kind of sandwiching the post and forcing teams to beat us from outside. So I would be sure to do your research as a coach on what does a team like to do. Are they primarily getting the ball inside, like ground and pound, or are they wanting to beat you from the perimeter? Okay, so if they're a team like at Linfield, we shoot a lot of threes. So I would not recommend running this versus Linfield because we don't post anybody ever. Okay, like in my league, let's see, like Whitworth, for example. I think this would work against Whitworth because they play two posts and they ground and pound. Okay. Any questions on that at this point? And AJ, I'm trying to go fast, so I apologize about that, guys. I'm trying to respect everybody's time. So let me know if there are any questions on that.
Hey, if anybody has any questions, just throw them in the chat box like normal, and I'll read them out to John. Thanks, John.
Yep. I'm going to show you one other look because in our league, 4 out, 1 in is really popular in my league. So I'm going to show you how that 3-2 would look versus a 4 out, okay? Just so you can see it versus a different look, okay? So we see this a lot in my league where there's 1 and there's 4 right here, and then 2 and 3 would be here, and 5 would be ball side, just like so. So what we would do is we'd be here engaged on the ball, X1 right here. X2 would be pinched, and he has first pass responsibility to his side. My X5 would still be behind. My X4 would be up here, and he's denying there. And then my X3 would be pinched in on this side, just like that. Okay? So that's how we would match up with this. So these three are really playing the zone principles. These two are really matched up. Does everybody understand? Does everybody see that? Okay, so and our rules would stay the same. So what we would do, again, we would identify, again, can this player shoot the 3 or not, right? That would determine how high we are denying this guy. Does that make sense? So because what we would do is if they passed here, in the 4 out, then we still, obviously we would step to the ball this way, and we would still drop to front. This guy would pinch over, and if he's not a shooter, then I'm going to have this guy sag on down this way toward the middle. Okay. Now, lastly, I'm going to show like ball screen really quickly. So if this is out of a 4 out set, Whitman likes to do this a lot. They'll go, and Willamette does this a lot. They'll go opposite of the big, and so they'll have this guy with the ball, and he'll pass it, and he'll just follow it right downhill with a ball screen, okay? So we see this action a lot. So how we would defend this is we still would be X5 here. X2 would be pinched this way. So this is X3. So we would get underneath and force him to use the screen. All right, we make him use the screen coming this way. We want him to play that way. I take X4 and drop him down here, and X4 is responsible for the roll. Because remember, if these guys can't shoot it, so the pop is not a threat to us. So we bring X3 there, and then we would bring X1 over this way. So when he comes off the screen, X1 is going to take him. X3 will slide underneath to the middle, and then X2 would be short to stunt to this pass that goes across to the 1. Does that make sense? So if they're going to throw that pass from that far across, we probably can steal that one. If he should flow over to the ball, which is fine. So if he passes there, we shorten that closeout. And then on the next rotation there, our X3 would be there by that time. But we dropped X4 initially so that if this guy slips, if he rolls, then we're right there waiting for him. Because him shooting a three-pointer is not a threat to us. Any questions on that? Does that make sense to you guys? Yes? Okay. I know Coach Lewis's team from last year. He had some great players all over the court. So it's kind of just say good luck trying to guard them because they were good all over the court.
Coach, got a question from Coach Klein. Since the weak side guard is stunting to avoid straight line pass, does a defender following the ball have to take a certain angle to avoid a straight line drive? Hope that makes sense.
Well, not the drive, but the pass. The straight line drive down the middle. So you're saying like as ball is being reversed, correct? Okay. So if the ball is coming this way, right? If that's the pass that's made, and there's somebody here, this guard. So we would have been here. We'd have been like this. This guard, when he comes, he needs to get about right in here. Because if he can get a hand in the passing lane, if he can just get his hand in this lane, that way this pass has to go up and arcing. You see what I'm saying? We just don't want this pass to be a straight, direct pass. Now, the drive doesn't hurt us because he's already here. He's right here, and our X4 and our X5 should be in here. So good luck. You know, we'll live with you driving 1-on-4. I like those odds, right? So, but what the only thing that kills us, so yes, it is a specific angle, and that angle is I want to be soft, but I want to be at more of a 45 coming so that my hand is in the passing lane. I don't need anything other than my hand in the passing lane, because once you start getting your head or your chest in the passing lane, you become susceptible for backdoor cuts. Does that make sense? So as long as I got my hand in the passing lane, like this is a concept I got from Florida State. Florida State teaches to have a thumb in the passing lane, just one thumb. So if I can have my hand in the passing lane, that means the rest of my body is essentially below the ball, right? So if I start to see you drive, this guy should be able to take one step over and intercept that drive right at the nail hole, and we're fine.
Nice.
Okay?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Coach. Okay, so I'm going to flip over to offense, right? Because I'm supposed to talk about defending with the 3-2 and attacking it, right, AJ? Okay. Zone offense. I am a concept guy as it relates to zone offense. I believe in overloading. I believe in overloading anybody's zone, okay? So if somebody gives me, now granted, I've not faced a 3-2 zone the way that I run 3-2 zone. Does that make sense? So the 3-2s that I have seen have all been like, so they'll be like here, 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 and here, right? And they don't want to give up perimeter threes normally. So what I would do, I think there are a couple things that you can do. For one, I think you can come out just to kind of mess with people. So the premise of the concept is we want to feel wing, corner, block, and elbow on the same side. All right? So whatever action you're going to run, end up filling these 4 spots on the same side. And that way the zone will struggle to rotate. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So one thing that I like to do okay, versus 3-2. And you can go odd, you can go even front versus an odd front. You can do that if you like, you know, your choice, your choice. So I like to do this. So let's say I'm here, and let's say I am, let's say we are double, let's say we are double low post. Okay, just like so. So what I would do is I would pass here, and then I would cut to the ball side corner. See that? I pass and cut to the ball side corner. When this guy gets about elbow, that'll trigger a cross screen here. And what we do is roll him to the block and lift that guy right back. Okay? Now, the reason we do that is because when that pass is made, who's responsible for this guy? It's got to be him, right? So if he comes out on this wing this way, if he comes out to take that away, then we just throw right here, and we should have a layup off the cross screen. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. If he stays, well, I know Coach Lewis. I know who that would have been for Coach Lewis cutting right there. Hillary James, all conference player of the year in the league. So they're not going to leave her and give her that shot, right? So that's one thing that I like to do versus 3-2. As you can see, we would have filled these 4 spots with our 1 here, our 2 here. The 4 would end up here, and the 5 would end up at that block. Okay, something else I like to do versus 3-2. This is something you can do to just create some confusion. Remember, defensively, the more you can force a defense to rotate and execute their principles, the worse the defense becomes. Does that make sense? So the more times you force them to shift and to rotate, the more likely they are to make a mistake defensively. So there's an old Arizona look. If you have somebody who's pretty athletic, you got an athletic 3 who can jump a little bit, okay? You can do this, all right? You can do this right here if you have somebody who can jump it just a tad. So if they're like this. So the question would be, how does this guy play the 4? If he fronts him, then that means this guy's got to be over and help, right? Everybody see that? So if that's the case, if you're playing a team that's fronting like this, then you could lift this guy to go screen right here. Make that pass, cut that way, throw that alley-oop, get a dunk, and the crowd goes wild. Okay? Everybody see that? So that's something else you could do out of it. If you have somebody who's athletic, who can jump there, that's something you can do. There's another look that I'll give you right here is a baseline runner look. You have some guys who can shoot it. I'll give you 2 other looks. You have guys who can shoot it a bit. So if they're like this and they're 3-2, okay, you can be like here. And you can go to a baseline runner look, okay? And so all we would do is you have to dribble at this guy to get him to engage. And once he does, pass across that way, and we'll set screens here and there and run baseline side, just like that. And after the 4 screens here, he'll lift to this ball side elbow.
Hey, Coach, can you turn the camera down just a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yep.
Is that
Can
better?
you guys see that?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, but my laptop's a little old, so.
No worries.
So can you guys see that? So we pass across. get 2 screens on the baseline, and then we lift this guy to the ball side elbow. And again, what we now have is, because we dribbled over, that guy has to honor that. So that means now he's closing out here, right? So this guy has to simply read, where does this guy go? Does he chase out? Because if he chases out, especially if you have a shooter. So in a college game, we tag, shooters. So the guys know who they cannot leave, right? Like, that's a shooter. You can't leave that person. You got to know where they are. So if you go baseline running here, so now you just need to see where this guy goes. If he pops out this way, then you just throw it right there to the 5. If he stays behind the 5, then throw it right there for 3 in the corner, okay? Now, if teams try to get smart, then we will let the 5 set 2 screens. Or he'll set this one. This guy runs through like so. This blue guy chases him out, and then he'll come and set this one. And instead of going up there, we just curl it downhill and hit the 4 for a lay-in as a counter. And obviously, if we go to the post, like if they chase the 2 out and we fire the ball into the post here, then this partner would dive. This 4 would dive to the front of the rim. Okay, and the last 2, AJ, how we doing on time? Okay, we're good. Okay, so
we're good. We got about 5 more minutes, Coach.
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you. 5 minutes. So I'll give you 2 other things that you can do here, okay?
Or Coach, if you want to just give us one more thing, and then we can open up and kind of, I know Matt has some questions. I'm sure Adrian and any of your staff kind of just have a little bit of time just to kind of bounce ideas like we did last time, Adrian and Matt. Remember that, how successful that was? Let's do that, John.
Okay.
Why don't you give us one more set, and then I'll unmute everybody, and we can, a few minutes of just bouncing stuff on ideas, because that really provoked a lot of conversation last time.
Okay, so I'll give you a blob. I'll give you a baseline OB, all right, as we get out of here, all right? I know you probably don't get a lot of that when you go to coaching clinics and segments, but I'll just give you a blob just to throw something different at you. So, again, I'm a big fan of giving people something they don't normally see regularly. Does that make sense? Just creating confusion. So I like, there's an L series. So I put like my best finisher here to take the ball out. Okay. I'll put, so we'll go here. Be like this. Just like so. So at the snap of the ball, what we'll do is we'll screen accordingly. So we're going to pop this guy out just like this and hit there to catch. Then we will screen here because this guy's probably going to pinch in. Probably going to pinch in there, or he could be there. Wherever he is, you got to headhunt that guy. So if he's here, and we'll come around in that way, and then we'll set a down screen just like that. Clean that up. So we go 1, 2, and then we curl right around and hit right there, and we get a lay-in. Okay? So the reason we would do that is because, they would have a decision to make. If he chases that guy out initially, then you should throw it right to the 5 right here, diving to the rim for a layup. You guys see that? So if this guy takes that, that's fine. Now we just screen him and we just swing it around, screen here, and we curl around. Nobody's there. Okay? All right. So those are some sets. I'll send you a link, AJ, also that has some attacking zone offensive concepts that's on YouTube as well. I'll send that over to you so you can have that.
Perfect. Then I can send it to everybody, John. I appreciate that.
No problem. So what do you guys have question-wise?
Is the 3-2 zone your primary defense that you use?
It depends on who I'm playing, but I am a zone fan. So I like to mix up what I'm doing to different people because I don't feel like two teams are the same. So I don't feel like I can guard everybody the same way. I believe that most coaches don't have a lot of zone offense in their playbook. So if I hit you in a zone, then I'm betting that I'm going to cut your playbook down by about 70%.
John, they play 100% zone. So that's kind of just a little background on him. So that's why I'm really interested in this 3-2.
What do you play, Matt? What do you play primarily? 3-2, 2-3? What do you play?
My head coach came from Syracuse, so we play all 2-3. And we've been running it. I didn't know one thing about zone until I got to Eastern Michigan, but yeah, we play all zone, all 2-3 zone.
Okay. No, I love it. I love it. I think I look at it as kids today, at least in my league, I have like really book smart kids, right? Who are not good at like on the fly adjustment, like real life, like street smarts. Those are kids that I see in my league all the time. So I feel that if I play you zone, then you're going to have to call timeout and start drawing. You're going to start drawing on the board, and your kids aren't going to execute at as high of a rate.
Well, yeah, we have similar principles that you have as far as like the stunt to take away that straight line pass. I mean, we do that with our wings playing high and not allowing corner passes. And, we call it close and bump, close out to the outside shoulder and bump to the corner to take that away. So It's pretty similar. I never saw, which I thought was unique, I've never seen like the top of the 3-2 zone drop to take away that, the front the post position. So that was cool. I've never seen that before. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, no, it's I like it. I had some success with it. And again, that is for when if you know somebody wants to pound it inside, right? If you know they want to get it to the block, then I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for that.
Perfect. Does anyone have any other questions? I mean, I know myself, I have some time constraints as well. But, John, I appreciate your time, really, today.
Yeah, man, no worries. If anybody has any questions or anything, I'm going to put my info in the chat right now. So feel free, just give me a shout and, we can hop on and, if it's anything I can do to help or anything you have a question with. I know I'm big on saying, okay, well, I'm thinking of running this, how would you defend it? Right. So like, if that's something that you want to do, we call it sparring. If that's something you want to do, please feel free to give me a shout. I'm always up for that.
Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, man. Thank you too. Thank you guys for coming. And I'm just putting my info in the chat right now.
If you guys want to screenshot that, because I'm going to end it within a couple seconds as soon as he gets it in.
Okay.
And everyone give me a thumbs up, and then I'll do that. And I'll post this to YouTube. So if you guys want to refer back, I'll shoot you, Matt, I'll shoot you, Adrian, I'll shoot you an email and John with the copy of the link. Because I know I'm going to want to go back and look at a lot of stuff, especially the baseline out of bounds. That's where I think you can really utilize free points right there, at least personally.
Absolutely. No, and as you guys are And if you do another one of these segments on baseline out of bounds, I'd love to be back on it.
Absolutely.
I would recommend. So there's something that I came up with during my time at Willamette. I'll tell you this quickly. So we had an odd, even, zero concept. Okay. So every week we had 3 plays out of the same formation. You got me? We had 3 different plays out of the same exact formation. So they all look the same every time. So if it's a box set, then we got box 1, 2, and 3, okay? So we were running our play based off the last digit on the clock, whether it was an odd number, an even number, or a 0. Does that make sense? So when the kids take the ball out, I'm just standing up, yelling out random stuff, completely means absolutely nothing. I had signs like I was an Oregon Ducks football team, just complete decoy. So the kids would turn and look at me. I'd yell something out, whatever, Ric Flair, a sweet potato pie. And then they'd look up at the clock, and everybody knew, okay, we're running our even play, or we're running our odd play, or we're running our zero play.
Yeah, I like that.
And if it was an override, I had a manual override. I just say Omaha. So if I said Omaha, I was changing the call, like I was Peyton Manning. So yeah, so just that simple. So so I'll show you guys if you guys have this again.
For sure, we will.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys some of that stuff too. So
perfect.
Definitely. Everybody got John's information out of the chat? If not, let Adrian, let me know. You already know it. Matt, we're good. Hey, everybody, appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.